Hello, everybody. This is Greg29407 back with another episode of City of Heroes. We are sitting here in Peregrine Island, and I've been doing the missions in Dark Astoria since we last met. I think I did that Heather Townsend story arc about maybe six or seven other times since then. I got down to about 20 to 25 minutes, um, and I basically don't kill a lot of the bad guys in there. I just kill the bare minimum I need to, and I've gotten through it quite a bit. Let me show you where we're at with the Incarnate abilities. I have my alpha to tier 3 now. So let me show you what that looks like. The cardiac, so I'm up here. I got all this stuff up here, so I am doing pretty good for this. I've got this exactly the way I wanted it. This reduces my endurance cost by 33%, increases my damage resistance effects by 20%, range by 10%, and sleep duration by 33%. I don't get any use out of the sleep duration or range, but boy, the damage resistance and endurance cost really helped out a lot. Look at this. My smashing resistance is 88% now. I'm almost up to max level on that. And this has helped out quite a bit. Also, my judgment and interface are up to 61%. Again, I haven't been killing as many enemies as I could have been. So it's going up a little bit slower. What I have been doing, I've been doing that Heather Townsend arc and then going through and getting the exact items I need to create my my alpha. And I've also been looking at my lore and destiny. Those are the next two things I'm looking at doing. So I've been doing that and getting stuff up there. Oh, let me show you this other thing. So it still says I'm level 50, but I actually level up to level 51. Yeah, veteran level 1, so 51.48. And let me show what happens when you do this. I'll go into my incarnate thing. And look how many incarnate threads I have now. When I hit that veteran level 1, I got 120 incarnate threads just for doing that. I'll get that again when I level up again. And then when I hit veteran level 3, I will not get these. What I will get, though, is a bunch of these Empyrean merits. So I get those a little bit at a time. But also I'll get more of those on every 3 veteran levels. You get Empyrean merits, and then the rest of them you get the incarnate threads. I still only have that 1 incarnate shard, so I guess they changed things from what I read up on. I don't have a whole lot of stuff there. So these are the other things I've gotten, either just randomly or through picking stuff out for what I need for my next levels. I'm sitting here in Peregrine Island because I said, I'm ready to go in and do some more Dark Astoria stuff, and I could not find the way to get into Dark Astoria. It used to be you'd go through Talos Island. That's no longer available. The only way to get into Dark Astoria now is go through Peregrine Island or Granville if you're a Sea of Villains. And I could not find the entrance. I went on to these Paragon Wiki Vidiot maps, and where it shows the entrance is not an entrance. There's nothing. So I had to go on the help thing and find out. You go to this tunnel supervisor, and you can go to all these different locations to the tunnel, and one of those is Dark Astoria. So let's go through here. I guess we got to click on this thing. Here we go. All right, good. So what I want to do today is the next little story arc we have. There are 6 story arcs in Dark Astoria. And we've done the first one a bunch of times now, that Heather Townsend one. The next one is this what's his name? Let's see here. Vorkin. So he is the giver of our next story arc, and I think he has 3 missions in there. So let's jump to that. Oh, one other thing. Notice how big my cursor is. One of my viewers had pointed out that you can actually increase the cursor size. So I gave into reality and did that, and now it's really big size. When it turns to a blue hand, it gets really, really big. So, but I can see it better now. I don't lose it, and that's what I need. So that's what I went with. All right, let's go to see this Moo guy. He was the guy we saw briefly in one of the missions in Heather Townsend's thing, where he's working. He's a bad guy. He's a villain. He was working with Scirocco, who's also a villain, and now he's going to be our contact. He's way over here. Oops, I'm going to have to jump up high. put this on pause for a minute. Okay, let's see what Moo has to say. Killdozer, the woman known as Heather Townsend has done what I have hoped. I had hopes that you and I could be civil and work together despite your status as a hero and my status as well, Arachnos. The problem of Dark Astoria is one that concerns Lord Recluse greatly. He has sent Scirocco, Ice Mistral, and myself to deal with it. Scirocco believes that Lord Recluse wishes to somehow utilize the power of Mot to his own end, perhaps due to this link of the power of Tartarus. However, Recluse is not here personally, so we shall use our own judgment regarding Mot. Mot is this supposed guy that's this evil ancient god that lives underneath this part of town and is suddenly come awake from what we found in our last story arc. And I believe all these story arcs in Dark Astoria deal with this guy. Part 1, An Act of Mercy. I am sure you are aware that Mot seems to be feeding off the deaths of those in this world, particularly those who die in a violent manner. This fact means that time is against us on this matter. Every minute a person dies, and every minute Mot grows stronger. I believe the beast previously only gained a small portion of power when someone died in a violent manner, but now that he is fully awakened, he can absorb violent deaths wherever they happen. This god of death also seems to have the ability to twist a person's thoughts and destroy their hope. I assume you have seen it just as we have. We lost a small squadron of Arachnos operatives when we first came here because of that. I believe it's safe to assume that the absorption by Mot gives him more power than the simple death of a person. This leaves us with an intricate problem, Killdozer. These knives of vengeance seem bent on delivering some form of bloody justice to those who they believe have done something wrong. Mot is luring those who have tied a Dark Astoria or itself to its city, and the knives seem to believe that those people must be killed and made to pay, which only empowering Mot faster than we could combat him. Attempting to stopping the knives of vengeance should be our main priority. We also need to get more information regarding how to combat Mot and the possible connection these knives have with it. Our main concern should be how to stop it from altering our minds and absorbing us, as many have been before. Scirocco and Ice Mistral departed to raid one of the Tsoo's main safe houses for information. Their group has refused to work together with us, and so we must rely on force. I know that you are fully aware of this. They have been in Dark Astoria for years fighting the forces of the Banished Pantheon. I would request that you depart to aid Scirocco and Ice Mistral, as I fear that the Tsoo have become stronger than we could ever have anticipated. Okay, so we're going to raid the Tsoo safe houses. And look like they're below it. Oh, right down here. Well, that's convenient. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Come on. It certainly is kind of foggy in here. Okay, these guys don't look too tough. Sorcerer. Okay, I'm going to continue fighting through here, and I'll come back when we get to something a little more interesting than fighting these basic guys. I will be right back. Okay, we're now being helped by Ice Mistral and Scirocco. Oh, these guys are pretty low level. Now, one thing, when you hit the tier 3 in when you hit tier 3 in Alpha or in Destiny or in War, then you get a +1 to your level. What that means is, even though I'm now, I guess technically 51, I'm 51 +1, so I fight at a one level higher than I would be otherwise. So that's a nice advantage. So raid the Tsoo safe house, rescue Ice Mistral. Okay, let's choose right over here. So those pluses really help out quite a bit. Defeat the Ravager attacking the safe houses. The Moo guy sent you, huh? I guess that means we're okay for now. Okay, where we gotta go here? So I think that's why these guys are showing up as white as opposed to yellows, which I'm usually fighting. Oh, she's pretty tough. I think I fought her before on enemy before. She's pretty tough. I hear something. Oh, there's a chest in here. I got an incarnate thread. You opened the chest, you found information regarding a sword called the God Killer. Okay. Looks like Scirocco and Ice Mistral have this under control. Meanwhile, I'm missing all my shots here. Look loud, too. I got this turned down to 1%. I'm not sure if I like all this foggy stuff either. Boy, oh boy. All right, I'm not sure why I'm slowed down so much. Okay, let's go in here. Bunch of villains. All right. I feel like I'm kind of just along for the ride with these two. They're pretty powerful. Oh, here we go. Look at this guy. Ravager. He's only yellow, though. How tough could this guy be? We'll see. Famous last words. Oh, boy. All right, that was it. Good. Well, when you get those two saved, that's you're in pretty good shape. I think the +1 I've got is the reason why those guys were all like lower level, or look lower level. Save the suited man for the knives of vengeance. Okay. That must be the clue that we got in that last mission, then. Oh, we can recycle the Praetorian underground tunnels, it looks like. Ooh, okay. Ah, that was a lot of missing. Boy, oh boy. Oh. I must have some kind of negative hits or something on me here. That's kind of crazy. They're probably using parry on me. They have these dual blades. They probably use some kind of parry to slow me down. They got me confused. Oops. I thought I couldn't get confused. I have all these toggles down here that's supposed to protect me from all this stuff, and I'm just sitting here with question marks over my head. Come on. Thank you. Ay, ay, ay. This could make for some long battles. They're doing 0 damage to me. But it takes a long time to fight them. Alright, I'm going to continue through these tunnels. Let's see, we have to see 4 civilians to rescue. Rescue the suited man. 2 heads of the knives of vengeance to defeat. Alright, so I'm going to continue doing this, and we'll be right back. Alright, we are back. I have been going through 3 levels of these underground tunnels. This is the same tunnels from Pretoria. If you ever done any of the Praetorian stuff, then you know why I skipped it all on the video, because it's so incredibly boring. I did find all the 4 civilians I needed to rescue. Those are done. And somewhere along the line, I killed one of the main bosses. These tunnels are just miserable. I just say this guy, suited man. You need information from the Knives of Vengeance? You got it. I need some time to, you know, recover these things that attack me. Defeat the last head of the Knives of Vengeance is what I need to do. The Pretoria stuff is some of the mission, the story is great. The missions themselves are completely awful. They're so boring. They all take place in these stupid underground tunnels, which are just terrible. So I have apparently passed the other boss I needed to defeat. I got so tired of fighting everybody. I'm trying to look for someone with a name that can be worthwhile to kill. All right, I'm going to keep looking, and I'll be right back. All right, the boss was apparently just some low-level character in here, just at random. You know, the problem with the Pretoria missions for me is that everything sends you underground. The tunnels look like this, or some of the other tunnels I've gone through. The bad guys are always spread out a lot. They're generally higher level. When you're a brand new character in Pretoria, and you don't have very much endurance, you don't have very much power, it's tough to get through, and it's just so boring. There are one mission after another of these kind of hallways, and it's just terrible. I'm not sure. I actually created a character. I was going to do some Pretoria missions. I created a martial arts shield character, and it took me a couple of weeks to get to level 13, and I was just so dreading going back to playing the character. I just deleted it. It just wasn't worth it. So, all right, so let's exit out here and go back to talk to our contact. Yeah, the storyline behind the Pretoria stuff is really good. If you decide to play on that side, it's really worthwhile for that. But the individual missions are just pitiful. Also, there's no other players there. That's the problem. That's the other problem. There's no one else to play with. Most players are playing blue side. You can find some people playing red side, but there's no one playing gold side. And it's just, so you're going to be doing everything by yourself. And again, all the low level, when you're a low level character, all the enemies are higher level than you, and it's just, it becomes an ordeal. So I'm not sure. Anyway, let's see what he has to say. Killdozer. Scirocco and Ice Mistral told me that you had gone to look for the suited man. We received word that he made it to safety to one of the portals out of Astoria. The woman known as Heather Townsend has said that she saw a rough-looking man escorting the suited man to safety. I've gone over the information you and Scirocco recovered from the Tsoo. It makes sense to me, the information regarding a person's mind being warped in this place. I am somewhat concerned regarding Scirocco, if I may be blunt. Scirocco has a sordid past, as you may or may not be aware. If Mot is looking to gain more power, then Scirocco would be someone who would be a prime target to sway towards hopelessness. Scirocco is, for lack of a better word, showing his weakness in these days. Ice Mistral can detect it, and I am unsure why she has not acted upon it. However, I am trusted companion to Scirocco, and I will do my best to aid him. Part 2, Foundations. The man named Max said that someone once fought Mot in the 1800s. This is quite odd. The first that I heard of someone fighting the darkness in Astoria was in 1953, when the Freedom Phalanx reclaimed Dark Astoria for the first time the darkness overcame it. They all believed that this was the first and last time this would happen, but after the darkness came again, no one was able to stop it. I wonder, though, the Circle of Thorns were here in Astoria even before the darkness first engulfed it. I think the bank. Here's the location. Oh, I must have missed something. Okay. Looking for a bank. I should warn you, Killdozer, if the Knives of Vengeance attack Max is the suited man, I think, it is possible that they also attacked the man who was meeting him there. I'm unsure why they... Well, let's see here. Let's go to clues. Maybe I missed something. Okay, you were in the Tsoo safe house looking for more clues regarding the Knives of Vengeance in Mot, but instead found some information on a fabled god-killer sword. According to the information the Tsoo have, the sword is incredibly difficult to forge, requiring items from all over the world that may not even exist. However, when forged, it supposedly can specifically absorb the power of any weakened godlike entity. It seems as maybe the Tsoo's way of dealing with Mot, if they could ever find a way to forge it. It would take years, however, to actually forge such a weapon, and such work would have to have been done at least 5 or 6 years ago for it to be used today. Let's see here. The man named Max. You rescued the suited man who would seem surprised to see you show up. Name's Max. Yeah, I was in Astoria trying to see if I had heard was true when I was rounded up by these gals. Horrible stuff, really. They made us watch as they slaughtered a supergroup of heroes. Those guys didn't stand a chance. There were about 10 of them, and they couldn't have had more than 40 security levels among them all. Anyway, you're looking to put a stop to the monsters in this, right? I can give you a hand, sure, but I need some time to gather all of my data. I'm only going to be against the Knives of Vengeance, though. If you're after Mot, I suggest looking for information about a guy named David Hazon. This guy supposedly fought Mot back in the 1800s. A contact of mine was supposed to drop off documents regarding Hazon at the old Astoria Bank. I'm not going anywhere near there, not in this condition, but my contact already made the drop-off. Get to the bank, and you'll find out what you're looking for. Okay. So that's what he's talking about. Okay. Yes, the bank. Here's the location. I should warn you, Killdozer, that the Knives of Vengeance attacked Max. It's possible that they also attacked the man that was meeting them there. I'm unsure why they would choose such a place to meet, but that is not our concern at this moment. I'm going to continue monitoring Scirocco. Ice Mistral has contacted me saying that he has begun to act distant, saying that he has given up trying to teach her his various lessons on how to properly use her powers. I believe the city of Astoria and Mot are beginning to destroy Scirocco's mind, but we will deal with that later. Okay, so find information on David Hazon. Alrighty. They got all new artwork on that stuff. It's pretty spooky. You found the body of the man Max was supposed to meet up with at the door. There was a note on him indicating the information was placed in a safe within the bank. Alright, so I'm not going to meet a helper then. Yeah, these are the same kind of guys I skipped over in my last mission. I was fighting. I didn't record all that because it was, just kind of the same thing. Whoever got to see how my Incarnate XP is doing. Let's take a look real quick. 71%. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, the bank is usually not a very big location, so I think we can get through this whole map pretty well. The boss. Let's go to the boss first. Okay. Here's something. Another incarnate thread. Let's make sure that my stuff is still, yeah, I'm still at +1 times 2. Okay. I think that +1 shift is what made me, made all these guys lower level now. I could probably boost up my power again to a higher level. Clue found. Okay. Hazon was a fool to try. By power now you will be one, just like you. Ooh, what was that? 8 groups of banished Pantheon to defeat, to break, oh boy, to break free of Mot. Okay. I'm not going to change my level yet. I'm going to keep my level right where it's at. All right, here's one. Oh, we got Ravagers, and we've got those tools from banished Pantheon. Getting the threads here, that's for sure. All right. I tell you, I'm really happy with the hitting the tier 3 of this, of my alpha. It really seems to be paying off for me. Not just in my endurance, my resistance and endurance, but also just the fact that that shift has made all these enemies who would have been orange and yellows seem very simple. So I think at some point I'll probably update or upgrade my powers, but I think that the next mission, which is the finale of the story arc, I had to fight like an elite boss, so I think I'll leave it where it's at for right now. I'm going to put this on pause while I fight through the next 6 groups of banished Pantheon, and then I have to break free from Mot, so we will be right back. All right, well, that was just a case. I thought we were going to have to defeat those 8 groups and then do something, but you defeat the 8 groups and that's over. And that was, some of them are a little tough, but I had to hit my, my health bar a little bit just to boost myself up, but it wasn't too bad. There's a lot of banished Pantheons, attacking at the same time with all their various powers and stuff. All right, let's call our contact. Are you all right, Killdozer? I was unable to reach your signature for a while. Some unknown man helped you escape, you say? A third player within this place. It's interesting. Let's look at our clues again. I think we missed something out again. Let's see here. Already did that. Got that. Got that. Oh, dossier on David Hazon. You found within the safe a dossier on David Hazon. That was in the bank. Though there isn't a large amount of information on the man. The creator of the dossier notes that the investigation of Hazon is still ongoing due to the fact that officials in the early days of Astoria did their best to remove most information about the man. David Hazon supposedly was the first man to discover the fight against the darkness in the Astoria, along with a group of friends. It is known that he died within an insane asylum, but kept a journal. He wrote in the journal until the final day of his life, where he was found dead in his cell, the cause of death unknown. The writer of this dossier was able to recover a ripped page in Hazon's journal. I see it in my dreams. It called itself the Sentinel, the Will of Mot. We first saw it deep beneath Astoria after we went past the seals. It was monstrous and huge. It killed Marvin. We ran away, and it told us that we would never survive. In my dreams, my nightmares, I see the face of the Sentinel, judging me, waiting for me to slip so that it might take my body and my soul for Mot. Before he died, Marvin said that the Sentinel's shell was powered by the souls of the dead. If we could somehow hurt it, we would also hurt Mot's power. If the fools would just... The journal ends there. Okay, now we'll get back to this guy. It is too bad that the information Max spoke of, the informant Max spoke of, was unable to find more regarding this David Hazon. However, what he did find is somewhat coincidental, almost to the point of fault. You see, Killdozer, we have officially lost all contact with Scirocco. He told Ice Mistral that it was over, and it was time for him to face the Sentinel. Ice Mistral, this is the finale. Ice Mistral has no idea what Scirocco was talking about with the Sentinel nonsense. However, if we go off of what is said in Hazon's journal, it would appear that this is a major force behind Mot's power. Killdozer, if we can strike against the Sentinel, it would deal a major blow to Mot's power. Then, things fall into place. Max will deliver the information on how we can cripple the Knives of Vengeance. The two combined would be a major victory for us against Mot. Scirocco will be able to lead us right to the Sentinel. Ice Mistral tracked him down to an old cavern system nearby, but she was driven away by a pack of monsters from the banished Pantheon. All you need to do is get there and take down the Sentinel. What about Scirocco? Scirocco, look, Killdozer, Scirocco made his choice. Yes, I understand Mot will become slightly more powerful if he takes Scirocco, but we'll easily shift that when the Sentinel is defeated. Scirocco recruited me into Arachnos, Killdozer. The Scirocco that is in that cave now is a far cry from the one that found me. He has become weak-willed from the realization that he is in a place he does not like. Scirocco were truly a powerful man, he would make the decision to continue to fight his fate, but he is not. You're free to save him, though, as I certainly do not have the power to stop you. Just bear in mind that the Sentinel is most likely an extremely powerful foe. If you have any allies who can brave Astoria, now would be a time to call them. Okay. Maybe I should have lowered my difficulty level rather than keep it the same. But we'll see what happens. All right, so this is only a 3-mission story arc, but it seems like maybe a little tough here. It's been long. All right, so descend through the caverns to find the Sentinel of Mot. I may skip some of these other enemies in here. If we find any. I don't want to fight all these jokers. Let's see if we got an arrow here. Nope. All right, I'm going to wander through these tunnels trying to find where we're going to go. And I will be right back. All right, we got a little cutscene here. You have committed many atrocities in your life. He's talking to Scirocco, it looks like. Your family is ashamed of you, and your former comrades spit on your name. Your life is tarnished by the Malak name. Show true honor in the last moments and give up your life. Spare your former loved ones the pain of your existence. Scirocco, a word before you go. Yes? I have sensed your torment growing since your plans with Malus Mundi failed. What of it? The dead cannot change, Scirocco. But the living always have a chance. Why are you telling me this now? You must settle your past like we all have, once and for all. The past is settled, my pale light in the darkness. It is the prison of the present that the future that I cannot escape. I accept. No, take me. You want a bad person? You really want someone evil? I'm 20 times worse than Scirocco, so if you want someone, then take me. Very well, you will become part of Mot. Irina, whatever. Scirocco, you better understand why I'm doing this. Oh, there's that mouth thing again. Irina! Now, it is time you become part of Mot. No, I will not give in. Today I will change. I will save Irina. Okay. Where did all that happen at? Let's see. It's not them. That's not them. We're gonna fight some of these guys, though. As you can tell from the top corner, the map's been pretty big. I've been skipping most of the bad guys. Occasionally I stopped to get some high-level guys that they kind of block my way. But you can kind of run through all these guys, I think. Oh, here's the Sentinel. All right. All right, here we go. Are we going to get help from Scirocco? Doesn't look like it. No, I don't think Scirocco's going to be much help. He's kind of curled up in the fetal position right now. All right, so let's go. Oh, boy. I don't know what to expect here. Oh, we got some more enemies coming in here. Lots more enemies. Ambush. Then we kill this guy, we'll be in okay shape mode. There we go. Lots of enemies. What I've noticed is sometimes Fault doesn't go off. When you hit it, it just doesn't do anything for some reason. The timing has to be right or what? Okay, after I get these guys killed, I got to talk to Scirocco. Wake up, Scirocco. Scirocco looks badly injured from the fight against the Sentinel. Really? He didn't do much of anything. He struggles with his hands to his knees, coughing hard. She changed. Irina changed. She gave her life to save my own. Scirocco looks up at you, punching the ground. There was nobility in her, Killdozer. She wanted to hide it, but I knew. I knew the monks had chosen her for a reason. They saw the same thing I did, but she never wanted to see it until... We have to save Irina, Killdozer. I know that you, she, and I are the enemy. I know to you that she and I are the enemy. However, Irina has shown me something important. You must understand. What did she show you? It is not too late to change, Killdozer. I always felt a prisoner to the present, to my circumstances. I had given up on Irina ever-changing. I believe she too was a slave of her wild emotions, despite my best efforts. But she showed me today that it isn't too late. You have to understand, Killdozer, if I died here, Ice Mistral stood to inherit my position as a patron. She would have gained more power than she ever had, and yet she chose to save me instead. I do not know if it is possible to save her, Killdozer, but I will not give up until I know one way or the other. You're too badly hurt to do much right now, Scirocco. Ooh, here we go. Let's see. It'll take me some time for me to return to the battlefield. I got Biomorphic Guru, Imperial Merit, Badge. I got all sorts of stuff. Look at this a minute. The power of my mantle has always been limited to several factors. As I ascend to light and fight Mot, I must release the full power of Scirocco once and for all. When you and I meet again, I shall be ready to fight against the evil here with you. I know that I'm a vile man, Killdozer, but I ask that the day comes you will allow me to finally do what is right. All right, so I picked up a lot of stuff there. Determined Mentor. Biomorphic Goo. Okay. And now I can get an incarnate component, merit or super. I want to get an incarnate component. Let's see what it's going to offer us. Okay. So these are, I think these are uncommon. Yes, these are uncommon. You have common, uncommon, rare, and very rare. These are uncommon. So I've written down on a sheet of paper all the ones that I need for my lore and destiny, which is going to be a while before I can get those. And let's see here. Ancient text? No. Let's see. Which one do I need? Dimensional pocket? Yes, I need dimensional pocket. I'll take that one. All right. Let's talk to our contact one last time, and that's going to be it, I think, for this 3-part story arc. Big XP. Big XP. All right. So, well, Scirocco has returned, and he has told me that he intends to stay here until Ice Mistral is recovered. An honorable gesture, to be sure, but Lord Recluse will not care for the fact that Scirocco is going against orders. However, it is good to know that you were able to defeat the Sentinel, even if it did warp away as you described. This could be a moment of reprieve to strike against the Knights of Artemis. Kalinda, the Fortunata, has put out a detailed report showing that the Knights of Vengeance have just wiped out an entire group of small-time villains within the Rogue Isles. All this will do is power Mot, undoing your hard work. I shall be going back and forth from Dark Astoria for the moment to report on Scirocco's progress. The man known as Max wishes to speak to you now. He requests that you two talk purely on a communicator, as he would prefer not to get himself embroiled in this whole business of Dark Astoria. The man known as Max is waiting to speak to you. He's our next contact. All right, so he is our next contact. Then we have an available mission from the same Moo guy. We have these personal stories. I'm going to do this off thing. These are short little non-combat stories. A lot of these characters in the later game do have them. And you get to see what their lives were like and how they became who they are and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So in the meantime, this is Greg29407 saying arrivederci, and we will see you next time.